Hey everyone, Scott Powers here. Today's video is financial planning strategies from a Monopoly champion. And that Monopoly champion is me. When I was 18 years old, I won the Maine State Monopoly champion. I know, pretty impressive. And as I got into finance, I thought it was kind of cool. There's some corollaries between how I won Monopoly and what I do in financial planning. So I thought I'd go over some of those things and maybe you can teach a little bit about finance, or it can teach you to kick the crap out of your kids in Monopoly. One of the two, right? So the first lesson is that when you pass go, as you know, if you play Monopoly, you get $200. Do you know what that $200 is? It's your salary. It says it right here. Collect $200 salary as you pass go. Now, can you win the game of Monopoly just by collecting your salary? No, of course not. And can you win the game of finance if you just collect a paycheck? No. What you need to do, you need to invest in assets. In this case, assets are properties that produce you income. And we can get into what an asset means later on. But it's important to invest in things that return an income back to you. So there's a couple of things I learned. One of them was cash management. When and where I bought those properties was really important to me. There's a lot of people that would go around the board and just buy stuff in general. Then they'd have a bunch of properties that just didn't really make any sense. There wasn't a strategy in place. So I was really careful about having a strong strategy, not just spending my money randomly, but having a good plan in place. So the second, or maybe the third key to this is diversification, buying the right stuff. I love the railroads. To me, I loved having a spot in each place in the board where someone could hit and essentially give me money. So that was my first priority, was getting railroads in place, so I could have ownership of property on every side of the board, I guess. The second thing I did was I thought to myself, well, what would happen in a worst case scenario? I wanted to have enough cash, like an emergency fund, that if I hit someone's hotel on Boardwalk, I could pay them off and still survive and go around the board. So I always made sure I had money set aside for those worst case scenarios. Sorry, that's my little guy running the camera, sneezing back there. So I always made sure I had enough cash aside. It was kind of like my own personal insurance policy. What I also learned was the odds and having a strategy that put myself in the best chance to win the game. It's kind of like when you're looking at your investments, and you want to invest in stuff that you know or you don't know, versus stuff that you don't know, and give you the best chance to win. What I did, I realized the odds of the dice. If you look at, you have two dice in Monopoly, and we know that a 7 is the highest probability of being rolled out of two dice, the number 7. The next highest numbers are 6 and 8. So if you look at your board, you see, and if you start it from go or from jail, a 7 is chance and community chess. Well, I thought to myself, I know a lot of the cards send you to go, or a lot of the cards send you to jail. There's a higher probability of being sent to those two places. So I figured, well, if I can get the properties on the 6 or 8 number from there, St. James or Tennessee, essentially the orange properties or these light blue properties, that would give me the highest probability of people landing on them. So that was my strategy. I focused on railroads. I focused on those two sets of properties. They were relatively inexpensive, and I made sure I had enough cash on hand to ensure my biggest risk, which is usually someone putting all their money into Boardwalk and Park Place. So those were kind of my strategies for winning Monopoly and also winning financial planning. The end of the story is that when I won this championship, they had a national tournament in Washington, D.C. It was my first week in college, and I decided it wasn't a good thing for me to go to this tournament. I should really settle in. So they sent the second place winner. The second runner-up was actually my younger brother, Todd. He got sent instead of me. He was 14 years old. He ended up getting his clock cleaned. But my only regret is that he ended up getting this medal, Monopoly medal, and a sash. There's a Monopoly champion across it. So, you know, it's a big point of contention in our family. If you Google it, you'll see him as the winner and not me. But I still have those memories, and I still have my pride. And one day we'll settle this out of court. So that's my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. And I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.